The Discovery Channel is showing this movie as part of a week-long series focusing on the biggest disasters in human history. Hi, welcome to the Silver Spleen. My name is Lei Feng, and this is my review of Pure Hearts into Chinese Showbiz.
傻逼直飞
He had a dream. He wanted to make a movie. He wanted people to like his movie. He hoped it would be a success. But like my mother always said, wish in one hand and shit in the other and see which one fills up first. Or, if you're constipated, just put a DVD of Pure Hearts into Chinese Showbiz into one of your hands. It's the same thing. But before I get into it, let me say right up front that I want to hold most of the cast absolutely blameless. They're apparently students from China's leading drama schools and probably have hopes and wishes of their own. So I don't want anyone to think that I'm dumping on them. Yeah, some of them probably should think about changing their career goals, and someone really needs to speak to this young woman about the perils of cosmetic surgery. But so what? They're young and impressionable.
傻逼直飞
On the other hand, isn't, and he should have known better. He should have known better than to cast himself. He should have known better than to direct this movie, or write it, or any of the other 10 jobs. No, really. He gave himself. What the f*** is an editing instructor? And how is it so painfully obvious that nobody ever instructed him on how to edit a movie? Pure Hearts into Chinese Showbiz makes Animal Rescue Squad look like an art film, and comparatively, it will be. I'm actually really looking forward to watching Animal Rescue Squad, and I think you are too.
傻逼直飞
Is purportedly a PhD holder, though there are apparently some irregularities with his work. And claims to have used more than a decade using his heart and sweat, writing, filming, and doing post-production on Pure Hearts into Chinese Showbiz.
傻逼直飞
Claims that the budget was 50 million renminbi, but other figures put it at half of that. And to be honest, it really doesn't matter. It made 2.3 million renminbi at the box office. And that's the combined total from 2 releases. The first time Pure Hearts into Chinese Showbiz played in cinemas, it only lasted 5 days, but
傻逼直飞
was never in it for the money. The film doesn't want to be kidnapped by capital. It intended to win the audience's applause with its high quality. He must have felt vindicated, therefore, when the film won an award at the San Francisco Global International Film Festival. Or not, because as it turns out, that entire festival was bought, paid for, and staged just to try to make Pure Hearts into Chinese Showbiz look good. Besides, who cares about those other film festivals like Venice? And look, 25 people actually went to this film festival, so you know it's legit. Or not. Speaking of legitimate, I'm sure there's a very good narrative reason that the school in this film just happens to be in a tropical environment with palm trees and beautiful sand and lovely ocean water. I'm sure that's a coincidence. I'm sure it had nothing to do with getting paid to take a vacation in a tropical paradise. Or, you know, that your father-in-law is a wealthy real estate developer on Hainan Island, and you allegedly spent years hanging out there trying to get cozy with vacationing celebrities. I'm sure your very wealthy and well-connected father-in-law had absolutely no part in getting previously respected media people to say nice things about your film. A leading member of the China Film Association said, "The techniques used in this film are really top-notch. It should be a contestant for the Golden Rooster Award. He must have glaucoma and a head injury." A professor at the Chinese National Academy of the Arts said it was down to earth and will definitely be a hit with young people. It's a reflection of mainstream values and full of positive energy. There's no evidence whatsoever to show that these resoundingly positive opinions were in any way coerced. Now, I'm not saying these things just because Pure Hearts into Chinese Showbiz is a bad movie. I'm saying it because
傻逼直飞
is a When you make a movie this bad, with your name all over the credits, and I do mean all over, you ought to take responsibility for the success of the movie, or, if it so happens, the abject failure. Not this idiot. He blames everybody but himself. Now, there's an old Chinese saying, feeling shame gives rise to courage. But there's another saying that says if you know nothing, you fear nothing. I'm not sure which one describes
傻逼只飞
most accurately. Maybe both. Well, at first, he tried to blame Douban, where Pure Hearts into Chinese Showbiz got an historically low rating and was crowned the worst movie ever. Then he tried to blame the people who owned Douban, claiming that it was foreign-owned and its founder was no longer a Chinese citizen. When all else fails, blame the foreigners. He urged the China Film Bureau to crack down on Douban, calling them, quote, the gangster of internet reviews, which I take kind of personally, since that's a pretty accurate description of what I would aspire to.
傻逼只飞
Ended up suing Douban for unfair ratings and demanded 1 yuan in compensation. This would, of course, double the value of Pure Hearts into Chinese Showbiz. But he probably needed the money because he wasn't just suing Douban. Oh no. Remember I said he had a bunch of jobs on this movie? Well, he wrote the theme song, and he somehow got SNH48 to sing it, and then they refused to do a promotional video for the song. So he tried to sue them too.
Sue everybody. Punitive damages.
I don't really know. The only thing I do know about SNH48 is that they have some kind of connection to GNZ48, who should all be charged with a severe lack of patriotism for what they've done to this song. But like I said before, I don't want to blame young, easily misled people for participating in this mess. That, after all, is kind of the message of this movie. These impressionable young students learn a lot of tough life lessons, or not. They're dedicated, handsome, or not. Teacher guides them with wisdom, or not. Dedication and a lot of goofy facial expressions. It's almost as if he's doing all the acting that the rest of the cast isn't, or not. He stinks as an actor almost as much as a director, but at least we don't have to watch him directing. We just have to watch the movie that he directed, and f*** that. I watched this movie, so you don't have to. Although, having said that, it's actually kind of worth seeing, because no matter how bad I tell you it is, there's no way to really understand without seeing it. It has the most unusual and wrongest use of undercranking I've ever seen. It also has the classic bad foreign redundant actor who somehow manages to do a British accent with a German accent.
Acting? Acting is not a profession.
No, I can't explain it. Just like I can't explain what's meant by, is my birthday party Bravo? I really didn't enjoy this movie, but I have to be honest, I kind of enjoyed watching it with some of my friends because it's such a terrible film that it's almost entertaining, and I would suggest that if you do watch this film, that's really how you should do it. I mean, let's face it, this thing's never going to see a cinema screen ever again. I'm not even sure it'll ever get released on DVD, but it is on streaming services because, you know, there's a sucker born every minute, and just watch it that way and laugh at it. It's incredible how bad this movie is. You know, I always tell people don't steal movies, right? Well, don't steal this movie because, God forbid, if somebody catches you, imagine how embarrassing it'll be. I mean, leave aside the wrongness of stealing, like you stole that, so just don't do it. If you really enjoy these videos and you wanted maybe to show me how much you enjoyed them, I hate to say that you should put a monetary value on affection, but you could do that. So if you enjoyed this review, please let me know, and if you didn't, let me know. If you enjoy the channel, please subscribe. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you again soon.